That was weird. Dig with everyone, my name is Diesel. Welcome back to my sitting room. You're as always most welcome. Let's just get right to it because this is kind of a long one. Today we are reviewing the first book in the Bound trilogy, which is aptly called Bound. It is by author Kate Sparks and it is a YA fantasy. So what's it all about? Well, essentially the book follows the life of Rowan, who is a young girl living in a world where magic is a sin, and anyone found dealing with magic or having magic abilities are immediately eradicated, like murdered. Any creature that has anything to do with magic has been wiped out, and even things like fairy tales are considered contraband, which is stupid. There are a couple of problems with that though. One, the country next door to them basically thrives on magic. It's full of sorcerers, it's full of dragons, full of unicorns, griffins, mermaids, and they are considered Rowan's people's enemy because they're constantly afraid of being attacked by sorcerers. Two, Rowan has like a pretty deep obsession with magic and finding out about that world, and one of her biggest secret life dreams is to actually go on an epic adventure like in the fairy tales that she reads. Also, a problem with that is she has a proposal from a man who is essentially a magic hunter. He is one of the people that murders people who have an interest in magic. Feeling the constant heat of being forced to marry someone she's not really sure if she wants to marry, Rowan decides to skip town for a while and goes to visit family, just for some time to think. And on her way there, she unknowingly saves the life of one of her people's biggest enemies. And this small act of compassion ultimately flips her entire world upside down. And well, she gets to go on her epic adventure. Although somehow, I imagine when she imagined this epic adventure, it didn't come in the form of her constant, ever-impending doom. But you know, no pain, no gain. So now that you know what the book is about, let us move right on to thoughts and feelings and maybe other stuff, like emotions. So the first thing we need to do is talk about the book's writing style. It really wasn't for me. There was something, it wasn't anything unusual. It was not a game changer. There was nothing new tried. But it really felt like I was reading the first draft of a book. Like these were just getting the plot and ideas down, and then it was never gone back and improved. I don't know, it just felt quite childish the whole way through, to the point where I was immensely irritated by it, and I found it really hard to read. Like, it took me ages to read because I just procrastinated it to pieces. So, plotline. I went into this book wanting an epic fantasy adventure full of magic and coolness, and I'll take a love story, you can't really avoid them at this stage, and it was going to be cool. And I read the first 3 or 4 chapters of this book before I bought it, and I was like, yep, that's what I'm going to get, but that's not what I got at all. At all. Not even in the slightest. Now, the book does have a plotline of epic fantasy adventure, but that plotline is completely shoved to the back in order to highlight the annoying relationship between Rowan and Aaron. Their whole getting to know each other thing completely overshadows everything else. And they are literally so irritating that it blew my mind. There's room for this fantastic plot, but it never materializes because you're constantly just going from one location to the next, having to deal with the girl who's like, oh, I can't possibly love him, but I do, and having to deal with the boy who's like, oh, I have feelings for this girl, but I can't be with her because tragic background, moody boy, blah blah blah. And Aaron might be one of the most irritating male leads I have ever found. Oh, he makes no sense. He's just constantly, like, first of all, he's kind of an asshole. Like, he knows that Rowan has this fascination with magic, and he's just brought her into this crazy world full of magic, And he gets annoyed at her for asking questions. Like, he won't shut up about the fact that she won't stop asking questions. Like, that's his, like, thought of every day. Why won't she be quiet asking me these questions, even though I know she has this fascination, blah, blah, blah. And then, like, he's pretty mean about it. And, like, even when she asks other people's questions, he still comments in his head about the fact that she's asking questions. I was like, shut up, douchebag. Secondly, out of nowhere, in, like, the last quarter of the book, they're having a conversation, and he, like, raises his hand to hit her, but then doesn't hit her. And she even, like, flinches back, being like, what the F is going on? And then he just continues like nothing has happened. He gets angry like that and then smooths out in the same amount. And I was like, you, sir, are a jerk. And he's just really irritating. And then, like, this girl character is introduced, and you know damn well that she is only being introduced so that she can test to see how much jealousy Rowan has for Aaron. Like, not that many girls would like Aaron, because as pre-discussed, he's a douchebag. Like, no, sir. If I knew that guy in real life, I'd tell him to go F himself. Literally. And I'd warn all my friends to stay away from him, because he obviously has a quick temper, and he doesn't like conversation. So, screw that guy. What else? There's all these magical elements in it, but they're just complete letdowns. Like, we meet a dragon at one point, which is going to be awesome, but it's not. It was just, like, flatlined. And then we meet mermaids, but they're all so incredibly human and not mystical at all that I was just like, And the story, the context, like the telling of the mermaid section is so confusing that it just makes no sense. It was like they're walking through caves, what is happening, where, why, what is going on? It was just, there's like humans, and I don't even have the words to express to you how ultimately disappointed I was with this book. And I know this is kind of aggressive, and I don't usually like to do that, but I just really didn't enjoy it. It took me like about 3 weeks to read this book, and considering I can read a book I like in about 3 hours, that's bad. Like, I had free time in work that I didn't fill by reading because I just couldn't bring myself to do it, and it makes me seem like a horrible person, but that was how it felt. So I'm sorry to the author, but I just did not enjoy it. I did not enjoy it. Aaron, if you were a real person, I'd slap you in the face. Just like you were gonna do to Rowan. Jerk. I think you can guess that I wouldn't recommend this book. And I obviously am not going to be continuing on the series because I might stab Aaron in the face. But other than that, it got pretty good reviews. Although I did see one girl talking about how much she disliked it, and I was like, you sister, you and me, we could be BFFs. But other than that, that's all I have to say. Now I'm going to go. I have no more books to read. I'm bookless. I am a reader without a book. So I'll have to go find one. Feel free to recommend if you have stayed all the way through my ranting. And until next time, go rev maha guth for coming. Slán.